So I just got this wig in the mail. This is a Kendra's Boutique wig. This is a full lace wig from Kendra's Boutique, of course. If you guys want any Kendra Boutique's products, I'm going to be using a lot in this video. Make sure you check the description box. So I'm going to be using this 613 full lace wig. So on the website, you have the option to do full lace or lace front. They are very different. But this is a full lace wig. So I'm going to be using this wig and I'm going to be putting it on my little mannequin head. As you can see, this blonde is very like Barbie doll blonde, and that does not look good on me at all. So we're going to be dyeing it. So I'm going to take some pins and I'm going to pin it down first, just so that it stays intact and stays in place. So the task today is to tone this hair to fit my complexion. So I'm going to be using a box dye by L'Oreal. I'm actually using 3 colors. So the first color is this LB01 Cool Tone. The second color is by Revlon, and it is a medium ash blonde 70. And the third color is also by Revlon. It is 04. And this is a ultra light natural blonde. So I'm using 3 colors and I have 2 boxes of each. So I'm going to be combining all of this stuff, reading the instructions, and we're going to be toning it. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm not that great at toning blonde hair. Honestly, I've had so many blonde wigs that I truly messed up. And so I was just winging it here. And I got these colors specifically because of how it looked on the box. I usually always look up colors online. And for some odd reason, I just can't grasp the concept of toning blonde hair. So I just got 3 different colors because I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to try to wing this and see what comes out. And so this was really just me playing around and testing it. So as you can see, I'm reading the instructions and I did everything that I had to do with the box dye. Honestly, I kind of like box dye over the Wella toner. I know a lot of people like to tone their blonde hair with the Wella toner, but I just can't understand the Wella toner. Every time I try to do it, it literally turns gray, and it's honestly so annoying. So after mixing all of the box and the box dye with the solution, I'm going to put it in this little bucket because obviously I have a whole bunch of different colors and I want them all mixed together. You know, I don't want to use one different color on one section, another color on another section. So I just decided to mix them all together. And I was kind of skeptical because obviously they look like different formulas, but I'm like, at the end of the day, this is all the same stuff. So it shouldn't matter, you know? So I just mixed everything together. So if you want this exact color, I highly recommend you following these exact colors that I use because dyeing blonde hair can be really tricky. So I just mixed all of it up and it looks pretty good. And now I'm going to start applying it to the hair. So I had already started, so I'm showing you kind of my third piece or whatever. But I'm kind of doing it how I would actually do a real head. Obviously, I'm not a hairstylist, but this is how hairstylists do it. When I have black hair, I don't do it like this. I just take my hands and mush the color all over because it's black. But this is blonde hair. You got to be very, very technical and very precise. And as you can see, the color is already starting to change. And I was super happy with how it started to change until a little bit later. I'm going to show you guys. But I decided to do the roots first, even though, you know, obviously the roots are not going to dye first because there's no heat on the scalp. But I was scared that I didn't have that much color. And as you can see here, it started turning gray, and I was so scared because this is what always happens to me every single time I try to dye blonde hair. It turns this color, and this is not what I want. So me taking these pins out right here, I was pissed. Okay, when I tell you I was shaking, I was so upset, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just have to do it because listen, I don't have time for this, and I'm gonna just have to rock this hair. So I started to wash it. And I just washed the color out, and I just made sure I just like thoroughly washed it out and put a lot of conditioner on it, because blonde hair can be really, really dry. And I used the conditioner that came in the box because I just feel like it's made for the colored hair, the colored blonde or whatever. So I just was like, let me just use this because it's going to be really nourishing. So here is the finished wig once it's dry. This was a couple days later. And as you can see, it was not that exact color that it ended up being. What? It was not the same exact color that it looked like in the last clip. That's what I'm trying to say. So it looks totally different. And so I was like, oh, okay, like, you know, I could kind of work with this. And it still kind of looked like more on a gray tone, but it wasn't as gray as I thought it would be. So I was cool with it. I kind of wanted it a little different, but I was cool with it. But yeah, you guys are going to see a big change at the end, like a big, big change. So here I am parting out the baby hairs. I don't usually do baby hairs when I do blonde hair. I think that's pretty tacky. But I was planning on plucking, and I didn't obviously want to over pluck. So I was just like, you know, I'm just going to do the same method that I do on my blonde wigs. And like I said, doing blonde hair, like plucking and all of this stuff, is honestly so hard. And in the middle of this, I realized that you're actually not supposed to pluck blonde hair. And I didn't know that at first because I don't usually wear blonde hair. But after I did this, I started to realize that the blonde hair was actually not being plucked, and it was not being taken out of the lace. It was just being shortened. So it would have created like a peach fuzz around the hairline area. And so I'm like, oh my God, like you're literally not supposed to pluck blonde hair. Like I never knew that. Obviously, I'm not a hairstylist, so no one ever taught me that. I never like heard that in videos. So I'm here to let you guys know that you're not supposed to pluck blonde hair. Maybe some people do, but I'm personally not good at it. And when I see other people do blonde hair or use a blonde wig and color hair, I don't really see them plucking it now that I think about it. So yeah, after this is when I realized, because I was like, oh no, like it's dead creating like a little peach fuzz area. Like absolutely not. So I stopped plucking it, and I just decided to move forward and put on my stocking cap. So I'm going to be using the Got To Be Glued hairspray, and I'm going to be using this to lay down my cap. I use like probably like about 4 layers of this, and I didn't show it, but I did use about 4 layers of this. So after using that Got To Be Glue spray, I'm going to be using a blow dryer to really reinforce that, you know, the Got To Be Glue is making sure it sticks. And then I'm going to cut off the extra stocking cap. And this is because we want to make a bald cap. So we're making a bald cap to 1, protect our edges. And 2, we're going to be using this as a scalp. So I kind of do this anyway when I'm like using black lace wigs and stuff like that, because, you know, it really does look like a scalp. But with blonde hair, you absolutely want to do this because you don't want to see your black hair underneath and, you know, through the lace and all of this stuff, especially because this lace that we're using is super, super, super thin. It's an HD lace. So to really reinforce that scalp effect, I'm going to be using some bronzer and a makeup brush, and I'm just going to go over that stocking cap to really like make it the shade of my skin tone. This bronzer literally is like my favorite bronzer. I use this in my makeup routine, so it's just quite evident that I should just use it for my stocking cap. You know, it like literally blends in so well. So we're basically making a fake scalp right now. We don't want to see any black hair under that wig. As you can see, this lace is super, super, super thin and just like really transparent. It looks pretty white right now, but yeah, this is what the color is looking like so far. A little gray, a little icy, and it's cool. So that lace is pretty white, so I want to tint it. I can use my bronzer, but I'm going to be using this Ebin tinted lace. I get this, sometimes I get it from Amazon, I'm not sure, but this stuff works so well for lace. Like, I literally love this stuff. As you can see, I'm holding it in my mouth because honestly, putting my lace wig on my lap and doing it, I was really afraid that I was going to get this lace tint on the hair. And sometimes getting that color off of blonde hair is so hard. And if you know this product, you know that it comes out so aggressive. So I was being really, really soft, and like I kept checking to make sure that it wasn't getting on any of the hair, because honestly, it's really, really, really easy to get makeup on blonde hair, and then it's really hard to get out. So I put it back on, and then I realized that I had to really like tint the lace that was going to kind of be on my forehead a little bit. As you can see, it's still pretty white, and it's still pretty just like, it's white, I guess. So I went back in and I sprayed it, and as you can see now, it's blending more with my skin and my forehead. So this is just going to help me make sure that it's blended and just looking really like melted in, you know. And so I'm going to be cutting that lace from around my ears, because obviously we can't lay a wig if the lace is on our ears. So this is definitely a trick you want to make sure you do. I actually cut off a little too much. So I had to like slant it a little bit. But it kind of worked out. But make sure you're being super tedious with this, because you don't want to cut off too much to where now the sideburn part of your wig is like all the way by your eyebrows and you don't got no sideburns or no hair there. So now this is me just checking, like, you know, how the lace looks with the middle part and just everything else. So I'm cutting off all of that extra lace that's like below my eyebrows. Anything that is below my eyebrows, I'm just going to cut off. I like to make sure that, you know, I can at least see the potential that it might be. And sometimes to help me glue down my wig, I like to cut these little like flaps so that I kind of like have sections, and I kind of just know where everything is going to be, and I can create my hairline as I go. I'm not good at putting glue just all like from ear to ear around my head and then putting on a lace wig, because I don't know. My hairline is pretty weird, so I like to mimic it. I'm not that good at it, but I do what I can. So I have to do it in sections and be patient. And today I'm using Got To Be Lace Glue. This is my favorite, one of my favorites. I have a couple of favorites, but this is one of my favorites. And, you know, you could buy this at any beauty supply store or even online. Sometimes I buy it on Amazon. And I did about 4 layers of this glue. I usually either do 3 or 4, depending on how long I want my lace to last. I put 4 here because it was a blonde wig, and it's a little harder to make it a little more transparent. And so once all of that dried, I just kind of like used those little flaps to help me mush it down. Honestly, I didn't realize how hard doing blonde wigs were until this time. Like, it's really easy to make a blonde wig look wiggy. I'm not going to lie to you. It is super, super easy. Like, very, very easy. So, as you can see, I did the top of my forehead first, and now I'm going to do my side with the glue. So, like I said, I do it in sections a little bit. So after doing about 4 layers and laying down that lace wig, I decided to take a little hair strap or just a scarf, I guess you can use, and I laid it down. I did not cut off that lace with those flaps that I created. I just made sure I laid it down, and I waited probably like an hour, but that was because I was like cleaning and doing stuff. You can wait as long as you want or as less as you want. And so to take off those flaps, I'm going to use an eyebrow razor. I never, ever, ever use a comb for this. I mean, not a comb, scissors, because when I use scissors, it really does create like a straight effect in the lace, and that's when you can see it. When the lace is cut and it's like rigid and kind of just like uneven, that's what makes the blend effect. Think about it as like hair. If you have a bob cut and you put in clip-ins, people are going to be able to see your bob cut underneath your clip-ins. You know what I'm saying? Because it's straight and even. If your hair is not in a bob cut and your hair is just all uneven, and then you put in clip-ins, no one's going to see it. It's all going to blend. So it's kind of like that same concept. So it's kind of the same concept with the lace. And it just helps, it just allows the eyebrow razor just allows it to really, really, really blend into your skin. Like you see that right there on the side, it blends a lot. Obviously I have to fix it, but you can see that it definitely does blend. And up close, obviously it looks a little hot mess, but we gonna fix that. Okay, don't worry about it, girl. We gonna fix it for sure. I think we all need to accept the fact that it's never gonna be like super melted where you don't see it. Like lace is lace, okay? Why do we have some pretty high standards for lace? Like it's lace, okay? Period. So while I'm gonna put that strap back on the lace in my hairline and allow that to really melt in. I don't like to really do anything until like everything is really dry and melted in. And while I do that, I'm going to flat iron my hair. I'm going to flat iron my hair and I'm just going to make it super cute and how I want it. So I want it a middle part. So I'm going to be using my EAP Heat Hair Protectant. And I absolutely love this hair protectant because it gives a silk and shine and it also smells really, really good. And then I'm going to use my EAP flat iron. And this flat iron is super, super, super amazing. I love it so much. And I'm actually going to just be doing my entire head flat. And honestly, you guys, once I started flat ironing my hair, the color started to change. It was so weird. Like, it started to become a little yellow. And that's why I told you, like, you know, you'll see the difference because it was definitely gray. Like, I swear to God, it was gray. That first strand I did was literally yellow. And then I was like, okay, the more heat I put to it, the more yellow it gets. So then I had to kind of do it like a certain amount of heat on all the pieces all over because it's easy to like, you know, put more heat and you don't realize. Oh my God, blonde hair is such a high maintenance. Even the wigs. I can't imagine what people with natural blonde hair go through. Like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be a part of it. This is why I don't do blonde hair like that. But anyway, so this is my hair all flat iron and it looks pretty nice. Like, as you can see, it's all the same color because blonde hair definitely changed colors when you put heat to it, but I made sure that it was all the same color. And so now I'm just gonna make sure that that middle part is just like, you know, reinforced. And I'm using my Kendras Boutique hot comb. Oh my God, Kendras Boutique has the best hot comb, you guys. They go up to 500 and honestly, they are just so hot and sleek. Like, you can really, really, really get in there. And because this was so much heat on the root, obviously the root started changing colors. I don't know if you could see it, but it's definitely pretty yellow. But I was fine with that because I feel like it started to make my actual lace blend a little more. But I wasn't trying to do too much because then it would have looked like makeup, you know, I don't know. So I'm just making sure that I'm making everything super, super, super flat. And let me tell you something. One thing about blonde hair is it's super fluffy. Okay, this hair is like all blonde hair. Like, every single piece of blonde hair is literally so fluffy. So I'm going to show you guys how I changed that. But before I do that, I'm going to take that bronzer that I used on my ball cap and I'm going to take a small little brush and I'm going to put that over the lace. And this is just going to just reinforce that blend in. So my skin is pretty light right now. This hair actually makes me look a little more pale than I really am. But when I put on my makeup, it matches my bronzer. And it just, as you can see, it just looks so much better. So I'm going back over it and I'm flat ironing it. And like I said, this hair is like super fluffy. Like, blonde hair is just always, always fluffy. And it always has flyaways. So I made sure I used some hairspray with the hot comb. So to get rid of the fluffiness, and when I say fluffiness, I kind of mean like blonde hair really doesn't hold any weight. Like, it has no weight to it. I'm going to be using the pink lotion, and this is going to really weigh my hair down and just make it a little more sleek. Like, I always feel like I see blonde hair just like sticking up and it's just like flying its own way and doing what it wants. But as you can see, after I added that pink lotion, it literally is just like, it has body and weight to it. You know what I'm saying? So I highly, highly, highly recommend using this on your blonde hair. And then I use the flat iron again just to bump the ends a little bit more because honestly, I hate when like ends are really straight. So Oh my God, it looks so, so, so good. You see that shine? Oh my God. So now I'm going to take some of my concealer. This is my Too Faced Born This Way concealer. And I'm going to put this in my part area. And this is just going to help my lace blend with my hairline. It's all going to be like the same color. And it's literally all going to look like it came from my scalp. And so this was actually where I ended the video. And I didn't get a chance to do the ending part of the video, but here are some beautiful pictures of my hair that I absolutely love. And honestly, this hair was so, so, so amazing. A really fun experience. And all of the products that I used are down below, so make sure you guys check. And I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.